She sent her last text at 9:40 in the morning. By that afternoon, she was dying alone on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. London Valdez was 16 years old. The man driving the car? 19, high on methamphetamine. And when that car got stuck on a back road in rural Oklahoma, he ran, just left her there. What you're about to hear isn't just a story about a missing girl. It's about 5 decisions that killed her, and the one choice that turned a tragedy into a murder charge. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which red flag you should never ignore. The kind that could mean the difference between getting home safe and never coming home at all. Because London thought she'd be back by dinner. She never made it. Welcome to Forensic True Crime Stories, where we share true crime stories based on real events that deserve to be told. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon so you never miss a new story.
In Oklahoma has been identified as that of a missing teen. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation says authorities found 16-year-old London Valdez's body on June 12th.
London Johnny Valdez was born on July 14, 2008, in Liberal, Kansas. She grew up in Hooker, Oklahoma, living with her grandmother in one of those small towns where everyone knows your name and your business. She had this huge family. I'm talking about siblings everywhere. Paris, her older sister, was her best friend. The two of them shared everything. Secrets, inside jokes, late-night talks about boys and dreams, and all the stuff sisters talk about when no one else is listening. Her mom, Brittany, they were close too, really close. They'd spend weekends driving around Ponca Lake, windows down, music loud, just being together. Sometimes they'd head up to Red River, New Mexico, to hike in the mountains. London loved it up there. The air, the quiet, the way the world felt bigger. At 16, she was working on her GED through online classes. She loved animals, like really loved them. Spent her free time rescuing strays, bringing home dogs and cats that nobody else wanted. Her family said she had this thing for the underdog. If you were hurting, if you felt invisible, London showed up for you. She played softball. She had this laugh that her sister says she could pick out of a crowd. Brown hair, brown eyes, 5'6", 150 pounds. A normal kid, a good kid. June 5th, 2025. London left her grandmother's house without her phone charger. No extra clothes, no makeup, nothing that would suggest she planned to be gone for more than a few hours. She thought she'd be home by dinner. She never made it back. Have you ever done that? Left the house thinking you'd be gone for an hour, didn't bother grabbing your charger or packing a bag? Most of us have, right? It's normal. But for London, it was the beginning of the end. If you've ever ignored that little voice in your head that said something felt off, I want you to drop a comment below. Tell me what happened, because those instincts, they might be the only thing standing between you and ending up in a situation like this. June 5th, 2025. 4 p.m. London was spotted in Liberal, Kansas, about 20 miles north of Hooker. Liberal's one of those regional hubs where people go to shop, hang out, kill time. Nothing unusual about that, except London wasn't alone. She was with 2 guys. One of them was Braden Brown, 19 years old. And according to what investigators would learn later, he was already high on meth. Here's the detail that should have been a red flag. London didn't have a phone charger. She was traveling light. This wasn't a planned trip. She wasn't running away. She thought she'd be home soon. For the next 48 hours, June 6th and 7th, London stayed in contact with her family and friends. Texts, calls, check-ins. Everything seemed normal enough, until it wasn't. June 7th, 9:40 a.m. That was her last message. After that, total silence. Her mom, Brittany, knew something was wrong immediately. London always checks in. Always. That's just who she was. So when the messages stopped, Brittany panicked. By June 8th, social media was flooded with missing person flyers. Hooker, Oklahoma went into full search mode. Friends, family, neighbors, everyone was looking for her. Meanwhile, London and Braden Brown were somewhere in rural Oklahoma, driving southeast away from Hooker, away from home. Brown later admitted to investigators that he was on meth and alcohol while driving, behind the wheel, with a 16-year-old girl in the passenger seat. Let me paint you a picture of what the Oklahoma Panhandle looks like in June. Temperatures hitting 87, 88, sometimes 90 degrees, no trees, no shade, just flat, open land and dirt roads that stretch for miles. If you're out there without water, without shelter, you're in trouble fast. And here's what makes this even worse. Meth doesn't just get you high, it raises your body temperature. Your heart rate spikes, you sweat, you overheat from the inside out. Your body can't regulate itself. So imagine this, a teenage girl in a car with a 19-year-old who's tweaking on meth and booze, driving through the middle of nowhere, in 90-degree heat. What could possibly go wrong? On June 11th, authorities found the vehicle, abandoned, stuck on a dirt road in Fort Supply, Oklahoma. Brown was located shortly after. But London, she was still missing. Here's what I need you to think about. Braden Brown admitted he was high. He admitted he was driving. He knew London was with him. So why did he leave the car and not tell anyone where she was? If you believe that leaving a 16-year-old girl stranded in the Oklahoma heat while you're high is unforgivable, hit that subscribe button right now. Because we cover cases where people like Brown think they can just walk away, and we make sure their names are remembered. June 12th, 2025. The Beaver County Sheriff's Office got a call. Someone had found a body on a dirt road southwest of Forgan, Oklahoma. County roads NS 135 and EW 9, if you want to look it up on a map. Deputies arrived and found a deceased female, 16 years old. On June 13th, London's mother, Brittany, posted on Facebook confirming what everyone feared. It was London. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the OSBI, took over. They brought in the state medical examiner to determine the cause of death, and what they found was both expected and absolutely devastating. Cause of death, acute methamphetamine toxicity compounded by hyperthermia. Let me break that down for you. Methamphetamine is a stimulant. It raises your heart rate, your metabolism, your internal body temperature. When you take too much, your body can't cool itself down. You overheat. You can seize. Your organs start shutting down. Now add the environment. The Oklahoma Panhandle in early June. Temperatures consistently in the upper 80s and low 90s. No shade. No water. June 7th, the day of London's last text, 87 degrees. June 8th, 88 degrees. June 10th, 88 degrees. June 12th, the day her body was found, 89 degrees. June 13th, 95 degrees. If you're stuck outside in that heat, dehydrated, unable to regulate your temperature because of the meth in your system, you don't stand a chance. This is what forensic experts call a compounding effect. The drug and the environment work together to kill you faster than either one could alone. The drug raises your internal temperature. The heat raises your external temperature. Your body can't keep up. You essentially cook from the inside out. But here's the part that turned this from a tragic overdose into a homicide investigation. The OSBI report stated that Braden Brown was driving the vehicle when it became stuck on that dirt road, just north of where London's body was eventually found. And instead of calling for help, instead of staying with her, instead of doing literally anything to save her life, he ran. He left the car. He left London. And he disappeared on foot. London was alive when he left. She was breathing. And he knew it. If you're still watching, it means you care about cases like this. You care about justice. So here's what I need you to do. If you think stories like London's deserve to be heard, hit that like button. Share this video. Because the algorithm doesn't care about justice. It cares about engagement. And the more people who see this, the more pressure stays on cases like this. The more people remember her name.
I heard it.
Oh, I'm ready.
I did too. Knowing he was snapping me.
This child was raised in a barn.
What's that say about me?
You look very nice. This child was raised in a barn.
Please don't videotape me.
That's his pilot.
For months, investigators worked to piece together what happened in that car. They interviewed Brown. They analyzed the toxicology reports. They reconstructed the timeline. And on October 30th, 2025, they finally had enough. Braden Brown was formally charged with second-degree murder in the death of London Valdez. But here's the thing. He was already in jail. Brown was being held at the Beaver County Jail on unrelated charges. Domestic abuse, possession of drug paraphernalia. This wasn't his first run-in with the law. This wasn't even his first violent offense. The guy had a history. In Oklahoma, second-degree murder requires what's called a depraved mind standard. It means you acted with such total disregard for human life that your actions constitute murder, even if you didn't directly kill someone. The prosecution's argument is simple. Braden Brown didn't pull a trigger, he didn't stab anyone, but he left a 16-year-old girl to die in the Oklahoma heat while he was high on meth, and that legally is murder. The alternative charge is first-degree manslaughter, which carries a lighter sentence. But the prosecution is pushing for murder because they believe what Brown did was so reckless, so cruel, that it crosses the line. Brown admitted to investigators that he was under the influence of meth and alcohol when he was driving with London. He admitted the car got stuck, and he admitted he left. He walked away, and London died. His preliminary hearing is set for February 6, 2026. That's when the state will present its evidence, and the court will decide if there's enough to move forward with a murder trial. If convicted of second-degree murder, Brown faces 10 years to life in prison. If it's reduced to manslaughter, 4 years minimum for a 16-year-old girl's life.
A preliminary hearing has been set for the man charged with murder in connection with the 16-year-old found dead near Forgan, Oklahoma. Now, Beaver County case records show 19-year-old Braden Brown appeared in front of a judge December 17th. Braden is charged with second-degree murder or first-degree manslaughter in the death of 16-year-old London Valdez. Now, Valdez was reported missing by the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations and was later found dead on June 12th. During the investigation, officials learned Brown was with Valdez just days before her death after leaving her stranded. Brown admitted to being under the influence of drugs and alcohol at the time. Brown also faces 2 unrelated charges of possession of drug paraphernalia and domestic abuse. Now, Brown first appeared in front of a judge on November 5th and again November 12th. Records show the preliminary hearing has been set for February 6th at 9 a.m. Back to you, Kelsey.
I want to take a minute to explain exactly what happened inside London's body, because understanding this is key to understanding why this is a murder charge and not just a tragic accident. Methamphetamine is what's called a sympathomimetic stimulant. It mimics the effects of your sympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that controls your fight or flight response. When you take meth, your heart rate skyrockets, your blood pressure spikes, your metabolism goes into overdrive, and most importantly for this case, your body temperature rises. In a normal environment, your body can handle that. You sweat, you cool down, you regulate. But when you're in 88-degree heat, stuck in a car, or wandering a dirt road with no water and no shade, your body can't keep up. You're already dehydrated from the meth, so you can't sweat enough to cool yourself down. Your internal temperature just keeps climbing. At a certain point, usually around 104 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit, your organs start to fail. Your brain swells, you seize, you lose consciousness, and if no one gets you medical help, you die. London's last text was sent at 9:40 a.m. on June 7th. The high that day was 87 degrees. Her body was found on June 12th, but forensic experts believe she died within 24 to 48 hours of that last text, which means Braden Brown left her while she was still alive, while she could still have been saved. If he had called 911 the moment the car got stuck, London would probably still be here. She'd be alive. She'd be 17 now, maybe thinking about college, maybe still rescuing animals, maybe still laughing with her sister Paris. But he didn't call. He ran. And that's why prosecutors say this is murder. If you knew someone was overdosing and you left them to save yourself from a drug charge, what does that make you? Comment below. Because this is the exact question the jury's going to have to answer. After London's death, her family decided they weren't going to let her story end with a conviction or a sentencing hearing. They started a movement. They're calling it London's Law. The idea is simple. If you get someone high and they overdose, and you abandon them in a life-threatening situation because you're scared of getting arrested, that shouldn't just be a drug charge. That should be murder. London's law would create harsher penalties for people who abandon others during drug-related emergencies. It's similar to Good Samaritan laws, which protect people who call 911 during an overdose. But this goes further, because Good Samaritan laws are about protecting bystanders. London's law is about holding people accountable when they create a dangerous situation and then run. London's family doesn't want another 16-year-old to die because someone was too scared of jail to do the right thing. And honestly, I think they're onto something. Hooker, Oklahoma, and Liberal, Kansas are small, tight-knit communities. Everyone knew London. Everyone loved her. Her obituary said she was forever 16. Her mom, Brittany, posted on Facebook after her death, asking for privacy but also thanking everyone who helped search for her daughter. She said London had a big heart, that she loved the underdog, that she showed up for people who had no one else. And now her family's showing up for her. They're fighting to make sure her death means something, that it changes the law, that it protects the next kid who gets in a car with someone they trust. London loved the mountains. She loved hiking with her mom. She loved animals. She loved her family. She was 16 years old, and she deserved better than to die alone on a dirt road because someone decided saving himself was more important than saving her. Here's the thing about cases like this. They don't end with an arrest. They don't even end with a conviction. London's story is still unfolding. The preliminary hearing is February 6th, 2026. The prosecution has to prove that Braden Brown's actions were so reckless, so depraved, that they constitute murder. If they can't prove it, he walks on with manslaughter. Maybe 4 years, maybe less. And London? She's still gone. Forever 16. Her sister Paris will never get another late-night conversation. Her mom Brittany will never take another drive around Ponca Lake with her. Her siblings will grow up without her, all because a 19-year-old decided that his freedom was worth more than her life. So here's my question for you. If you were on that jury and you heard that Brown admitted he was high, admitted he was driving, admitted he left her on that dirt road while she was still breathing, would you convict him of murder, or would you say it was just a tragic accident? Comment below. I want to hear your take. Because cases like this don't have easy answers, and the conversation matters. To the Valdez family and to everyone who loved London, we're thinking of you. Your daughter, your sister, your friend deserved so much more than this. This story deserves to be told, and we won't let her be forgotten. If you believe people like Braden Brown should be held accountable, if you believe that leaving someone to die is murder, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on the bell notification, because we don't just cover cases, we keep them alive. We make sure the world remembers the victims and not just the criminals. Let's make sure London's law becomes a reality. Let's make sure her name means something. Thanks for watching till the end, and until the next video, stay safe.